What's happening, everybody? Today is the 5th day of April. I am Counselor Curtis, doing the show alone again because I got no Jimmy backup. But just a quick show here for your pleasure. All right. Today I'm talking about Major League Baseball. All right, here's the situation. It's a private company. Now we'll get to the antitrust thing in just a second, but for now, it's a private company. They can do whatever they want. If they want to alienate half of their audience, go for it. Seriously, that's totally within their right. Whatever it was, there's obviously a small group of people in here who consider themselves, in Major League Baseball, they consider themselves woke or whatever on the left, and they're in control right now. So if a faction of your company gets in control and decides to announce that your company is on one side or the other, well, then you're going to alienate half of your audience. So have fun with that. I say to all the companies that want to do that, literally knock yourselves out. You can do it if you want to. On either side, it's just crazy. It's crazy to take sides. I mean, it's one thing for companies to take sides when there's some sort of effect on their business, like, you know, if you're Scott Tissue and you don't cut down the rainforests, well, okay, that's a political opinion you can support because you're not doing it with your business. But Major League Baseball doesn't have anything to do with voting per se. So if they want to take up an issue with one particular piece of legislation that was passed and inflict $100 million worth of damage on the metropolitan Atlanta area, which, by the way, voted for Joe Biden and delivered the Democratic ticket, really, go ahead. I mean, at your own peril. So that's what I say. I mean, you got to ask yourself, who does it hurt? Who does anybody make money? I wonder where the new city is. Obviously, they're going to make some money over there, but all the fans, all the collateral businesses, everybody who just delivered the win for the left, they just told you to suck it. So, oh well, hope you don't like. Now, okay, about the antitrust thing. Here's the thing. Normally, the free market solution to this is that another organization would come in and offer you something else to do. But baseball apparently has a monopoly. It's protected by our government. It's one of the protected monopolies. So people are saying, well, if you had a different baseball, I saw, what was that guy, Ted Lieu. He was like, if you had another league, they'd go out of business in a minute. Okay, well, then you don't need a law, do you? You just let them go out of business or let them thrive if they decide to play their all-star game wherever in Atlanta. Now, here's another thing. The last thing I'll say about this is this. It's the all-star game. Why don't you, if you want to present your message about the voting rights thing, why don't you do the game there and then promote the message while you're there? Get the message out. Taking your ball and going home, like, oh, we don't like what you're doing, so we're not going to play our game there where we plan to play it. Why would you do that? It's such a weird self-own is what it is. Oh well. All right. Second on the list today, New Zealand. All right, now I know New Zealand is a small island country on the other side of the earth. Doesn't have much to do with us, really. But there's one thing about New Zealand that is similar to us, and that is New Zealand is considered by us to be a civilized Western country. And if something happened in New Zealand that was crazy uncivilized, you might begin to question, or at least ask yourself, could that happen here? And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a little clip of the Prime Minister of New Zealand delivering her thank you message to the people of New Zealand for complying with her mandatory lockdown orders. Now, this is real. This is not an SNL skit. I was going to do an SNL skit about it because, boy, it's ripe for it, let me tell you. But we'll just break it down anyway, piece by piece as we go. Now, I'm going to play a little music behind this whole thing because I don't want the algorithm to pick it up. So, just for purposes of distortion, we're going to have this little thing here. All right, here's the video.
It seems incredible to me that we are marking a year since, as a nation, we went into a living transition. And that was all part of our strategy to go hard as well. I think, though, that when we look back on that period of time, it's perhaps easy to forget.
It's going to be fair use when I get done, but... That edit was not mine. All right. Now let's take a look at that real quick. You can play it back. You can stop it wherever you want, and you can see. You can analyze it any way you want to. But here is what I saw, and look. She literally says, "Thank you, New Zealand. We locked down to level 4 lockdown," and she says, "We did not know whether or not New Zealanders would go along with this." Clearly, she contemplated what she was going to do in the event that they did not go along with it. One can only assume it involves the use of force. Otherwise, she's just bluffing. Otherwise, it was just a ruse. Which is possible. Maybe if people had said, "No, we're not going to lock down," she would have just said, "Oh, okay, they didn't go along with it." But I doubt it. Look around at the other countries right now. I could play you there's a clip from Belgium where they use horses to clear out a park. Look, if it hadn't have gone her way, she wouldn't be smiling right now. Or maybe she would. Maybe it would still be just fine for her. But it's just so interesting to watch her with a smile tell you that they took away your freedoms with force, but you participated in it. You acquiesced to it. It was voluntary. You did it. And this begs the question, of course, if people went along with it anyway, why do you need to make it a law? And the answer is they didn't. Because there's a relationship between people's fear and their compliance that is a direct relationship. The more that they are afraid of the virus, the more they're willing to go along with whatever it is that you have as a solution. So, it's built in. You don't need to hype up the disease any more than it is. If it's real, people will comply. So, but there's New Zealand, and she's thanking you with a smile. So this is how if you're wondering what it'll look like if they ever take your freedoms away. And as she said, this is for your own safety and security. I'm sure she's a wonderful mom, honestly, because that's what she's doing to New Zealand. She's mothering them. She's mothering and smothering them. Have fun with that, New Zealand. Have fun with that. And we don't need that here as Americans. We're adults over here. So we don't need a mother prime minister to lock us down in our rooms for a certain amount of time. If she's got a good argument, you just tell us and people will go along with it. As they probably would have done in New Zealand too. But they'll never get that chance because she's convinced she did the right thing by using the guns. So, anyway, just a little glimpse into things as they're unfolding. So, that's it. That's all I got for today. Hope it was at least mildly interesting and entertaining. So, thank you, Kevin MacLeod, for these tracks. Really appreciate it. Yeah, let's get something more upbeat than this. That's not much better, is it? Anyway, these are all good tracks, free tracks for your personal use or even business use. We'll see you next time. Maybe Jimmy will be back. You never know.